Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 2021 StartOut Demo Day. We're super excited to have everyone joining us virtually here. Yet another virtual event, but hopefully towards the tail end of these, and we can all see each other in person again soon. But for now, welcome. We're going to give it a minute for everyone to join on our wonderful platform, Philo. A few quick notes: if you do have trouble with Philo, you can always email the team and or reach out to someone who's identified as StartOut on the platform. And there are everyone is visible over on the side in your chat area, and the folks working for StartOut, we have a little rainbow next to our name, so you should be able to ping any of us and we'll help you out. Without further ado, though, we are going to jump straight into a little intro of StartOut from my co-conspirator, Craig Lynn. My name is Mark Boucher. I'll be your host for today, but Craig is going to give us a little overview of what StartOut is all about, so I'll let him take it away.
Thank you, Mark. Hello and welcome, everyone. Happy Pride. My name is Craig Lynn, as Mark mentioned, and as he mentioned, I am one of the co-chairs of the Demo Day Programming Board. Mark and I and the rest of the team have been hard at work for the past few months organizing today's event. For those of you new to StartOut, let me explain all the great things about this amazing nonprofit organization. StartOut's mission is to increase the number, diversity, and impact of LGBTQ+ entrepreneurs and amplify their stories to drive the economic empowerment of the community. Over the past 11 years, StartOut has built a community of currently 17,000 members, and StartOut individually supports over 300 entrepreneurs every year. StartOut is open to all LGBTQ+ founders who could use a supportive community to accelerate their growth. In terms of programs available, StartOut provides direct individual support through community events, one-on-one mentorship, office hours with experts, and connections to a community of investors. StartOut also runs a 6-month accelerator program called StartOut Growth Lab. Since the start of the accelerator program, the 35 graduated companies have raised $250 million in funding and have created over 1,300 new jobs. If you would like to join the community, please visit startout.org. For ecosystem builders and investors interested in supporting underestimated founders, we love to collaborate and provide access to a diverse pool of incredible founders. If you're interested in exploring how to work with StartOut, feel free to reach out to us after the event. And now I'll hand it back over to Mark.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Craig. And again, welcome to all the folks joining us on Philo. This event would not be possible without some wonderful sponsors, and those are the folks that we're going to hear from this very moment. We're going to get a little run through from our friend David Santana with AWS and how they've been collaborating with StartOut. David, I will let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much for having me. My name is David Santana. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm talking to you from the beautiful AWS Startup Loft in San Francisco, which seems unreal that I'm back in the office. So very thankful to be able to be here. I have been with AWS for a little over a year, and I manage this space and lead startup community partnerships for the global startup marketing team. I also sit on the StartOut programming board in the community chapter. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Spain, and I arrived in the US almost 7 years ago with the intention of going back to Spain after a year or two, but life had other plans for me. And when I met my now husband, Eli, I decided to stay and make San Francisco my new home. I've been surrounded by startup founders my whole career, and for many years, I struggled with the lack of representation in the ecosystem. It was really challenging to try to find founders that represented the reality of our community. And in many cases, I didn't even know where to start. If there's anything I've learned in this time, is that great startups can come from anywhere, so long as their founders have a community that supports them. And that's why I think that organizations like StartOut are needed to help lift, empower, and connect founders whose unique perspectives are too often overlooked. Not only that, StartOut also helps shine a light on a group of founders that are visible and proud of who they are, which can be very inspiring and encouraging for other people that are not ready to bring their full authentic selves to their entrepreneurship journey. I would take it even further. StartOut has helped me to be very intentional about my own visibility. And that is something I get to bring to the AWS Loft every day, and also be my full authentic self with my customers and with my colleagues. That's one of the reasons why AWS's partnership with StartOut and the sponsorship of this demo day is so important to me. This is just one of the actions that we're taking at AWS to build a community that includes founders from every background. We not only want you to be a part of the community, we want to see you and your company grow and succeed with us. And we have several programs that help you do just that. We have a mentorship program to help you solve technical and non-technical challenges. We have the Activate program that provides you with credits as you build your company in the cloud. And honestly, if there's something that we could be doing and we're not doing yet, please talk to us. Find me on LinkedIn, come grab a coffee at the Startup Loft, stop by the AWS booth today and connect with our team. We want to hear from you and we want to hear how we can help. Thank you again for the opportunity to be a part of this event. I cannot wait to hear from all the amazing companies pitching today. And also thank you to all of our co-sponsors for being committed to inclusion, diversity, and equity. And to all the Latinos in the audience, gracias por escucharme y por favor vengan a visitarme al Loft la próxima vez que estén en la ciudad. Back to you, Mark.
Amazing. Thank you so much, David, for the awesome message. And hopefully we can all come visit the Loft sometime soon. Up next, though, we are going to hear from another wonderful friend, our good friend, James Wilson with SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, explaining how they're working with StartOut as well.
Thank you, Mark. Welcome, everyone. My name is James Wilson, and I am really excited to represent Silicon Valley Bank on today's demo day. Some context for everyone. SVB exclusively works with technology companies, not just here in the Bay Area, but globally. My team, which is our startup banking team, works with companies that are pre-Series A. And honestly, one of the best parts about my job is getting to meet founders really early and seeing how their trajectories take off. On our team, we have a very founder-friendly banking solution for our companies that has no fees at all. But we realize that banking is just one part of what it takes to succeed as an early stage company. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we can add value for our founders with many different ways, like hosting educational and networking events, getting them plugged into our community of later stage founders and investors, as well as doing anything and everything to improve their odds of success. So with that said, good luck to all the companies pitching today. Really excited to get this event started, and I'll turn back to Mark.
Amazing. Thanks so much, James. And really wonderful to have SVB on board with StartOut. Up next, we're going to hear a little bit from all of our wonderful judges. These are folks who have joined us and devoted some time graciously to help hear from all the founders that are pitching today and decide on who will take home our first, second, and third place prizes. First, we're going to kick it off with Ari, who is also with AWS. Ari, I'll have you say a few words if possible.
Hey folks, my name's Ari Kalfayan. My pronouns are he, him. It's cool to be here. I pitched on this very stage 7 years ago with one of my failed startups, Go Boldly back then. And after 10 startups, finally in a different position. So grateful to be here with AWS. They kicked off the startup mentorship program and the StartOut partnership. But more importantly, like I help founders every day, specifically with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So folks that start like GPT-3 or OpenAI and go off and start a startup, we help them get off the ground. So excited to hear all the awesome startups today and hopefully help some of the new startups get off the ground. Thanks.
Amazing, Ari. Thanks for sharing your story. Awesome to hear the journey. Up next, we're also going to hear from Ali with LeadOut Capital. Ali, I'll have you share a few words too.
Hi, I'm Ali Rosenthal. My pronouns are she, her. I'm based in Northern California. My background is, my career background is one of a combination of banking, consumer operating roles, and investing, which is what I do today at LeadOut Capital. And I was a professional athlete for a short time. So a lead out is a term for a race formation at the beginning of a bike race, whereby if the team is doing their job for the intended winner, they are holding them in a draft formation and at times sacrificing their race to enable the intended winner to cross the finish line first. I've always believed that success is a group thing. I've loved team sports and I love working with founders and startups, both as an operator and now as an investor. So Lead Out is a pre-seed and seed stage fund. We focus on what we call non-obvious founders, so people who aren't necessarily given the benefit of the doubt by traditional venture capitalists and sources of early stage funding. Yeah, I'm excited to hear all the pitches today and just very, very flattered to be amongst such a wonderful group of people.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Ali, and a pretty inspiring message behind the name Lead Out. So great to learn about that. And we are now going to hear from our other judge, Arjun, with Format 1.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Quick personal background, kind of serial entrepreneur, started a company called Retargeter back in the day that got to some meaningful scale. We sold that in 2015 and then became a partner at 500 Startups, was actively involved in investing at the early stage for many years, and now run an advisory firm. We work closely with mostly founders, kind of mature seed through Series C, and help them work through all the biggest challenges and all the hard things together. So it's a focus on coaching, executive coaching, and advisory. Also work with a handful of VCs and LPs. Excited to be here and look forward to the pitches. Have already got a little bit of a preview, so very excited to hear the formal story. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the note, Arjun. And now we're going to hear from our judge, Denzel, from the Pride Fund as well and what he's working on.
Hi, everyone. Denzel Porteous here, coming in from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Excited to be here. He, they pronouns. I currently serve as CEO of Pride Fund 1 and Executive Director of Stonewall Columbus. CEO of Pride Fund 1 gives me the great opportunity to be able to invest in and uplift LGBTQ entrepreneurs and ventures, singularly focused in the LGBTQ vertical, ensuring that we are making space for and uplifting our identities that are so often not thought about in business and often not seen in venture. So that is something that's really exciting and something I fully believe in. Outside of that passion of mine, I've had the privilege and opportunity of spending a lot of time in the nonprofit social service space, serving on boards such as the Human Rights Campaign, as well as the Legacy Fund of Columbus, which is focused on uplifting and investing in LGBTQ identities here in Central Ohio. So privileged to serve as the CEO and Executive Director of Stonewall Columbus, which is Central Ohio's only LGBTQ community organization that we annually put on our LGBTQ Pride events here across Central Ohio. So pleased and excited to uplift and see so many great identities who are representing the queer community in so many various ways, and excited to see what we all are going to be presenting to this evening. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much, Denzel. Great to have you as well. And we are going to now hear, last but certainly not least, from our friend Ray with Excel Prize.
Hi everyone, my name is Ray. I'm relatively new to StartOut and to VC itself, but I used to be a affordable engineer at Palantir, and before Palantir I was a strategy consultant at Accenture. In my free time, I like to work on civic tech projects with US Digital Response. I also have a dog. She might make an appearance at some point. But anyways, really happy and excited to be here and excited to hear from the founders. At Excel Prize, we do early stage B2B software investing.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Ray. So again, thank you so much to all of our judges for joining us today. We're looking forward to hearing who you pick as our top winners from startup pitches today and some of your questions that you'll have for them. I want to apologize. I also missed out on mentioning on our two additional wonderful sponsors for this event, Twilio and Comcast Lift Labs. Obviously, would be remiss to not mention the support that they've provided StartOut and certainly helping us get this event put together. So again, thank you so much to all of our sponsors. And I want to take a final moment here for all the folks who've joined as we've been doing these intros. We're at about 125 individuals on our Philo platform. It's wonderful to see everybody here. You can get familiar with how the platform works by scrolling around on the main page. We have a room chat going on the side for information about everyone and all the things that are going on. We have our very own Scott Schwartz will be posting updates about all the startups as they present. You can learn more about our sponsors in their particular rooms. We'll have networking rooms for after the event. If you scroll down to the bottom of your screen, and then something to note, if you go all the way to the bottom of the Philo page, you'll also see that we have a poll for you to vote for the audience favorite startup pitch. So we'll let you know when it's time to vote for that towards the end of our pitches. But for now, we will, without any more delay, move into the main element of this event, which is hearing from our startup founders and what they're building, asking them some questions, generally kind of getting into the details. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Elizabeth to the stage to tell us more about what she's building with Amorous.
Hi all, hopefully that is now appropriately displayed for everybody. Hi, thank you so much. I'm Elizabeth, the founder of Amorous, the sexy chat app for intimate partners. More than 80% of adults use their phones for sexual communication. And yet most of them are uncomfortable while they're doing it. We have apps that facilitate how we meditate, how we shop, how we take care of our health, but nothing that helps us with our closest relationships until Amorous. We help make your sexting more private, more engaged, and more inspired. We know what you want to share, and we will protect it. We give you tools for things like boundaries and consent and negotiation and aftercare, all of the stuff that high school sex ed never taught you. And we have really fun games to keep it delicious. You can discover shared fantasies, you can start sexy new conversations, you can always send a pic to your flame, but maybe send it as a jigsaw puzzle so they just have to work before they get the picture. We are a native iOS and Android app. We are just launching out of a successful beta, and this is the space that we're launching into. Honestly, what it looks like is SMS text, or if you're in Europe, it looks like WhatsApp, or if you're in Asia, it looks like WeChat, or maybe it looks like Signal or Telegram or Viber. Honestly, our major competition is that people sext in the same chat stream where they video chat with grandma, get their work notifications, and show off their shared travel pictures. Discovery is another thing we do, which is more available, honestly, to singles who have at least dating apps that help you find a partner. And there are some exciting partners apps on the horizon. The ones to date seem to mostly focus on either therapy, sort of couples therapy in an app, or on logistics, helping you remember gift ideas or anniversaries. But this is a massive market, multi-billion-dollar. Urban adults who are opted into their sexuality is more than 34 billion people in the US alone. So how are we doing? We launched our beta with App Store and Google Play approval in April. We had hoped to be at 200 users by September, which we nailed by the first week of June. We have over 200 users and over 8,000 messages being sent on the app right now. In the next 18 months, we're looking to product market fit, basically. We want to get to 50,000 users with security enhancements, monetization in premium subscriptions, and brand partnerships. We're looking for $750,000 to get us there. And the team that's going to take us, and who are already getting it done, I am a film producer. I made movies like Destination Wedding with Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves. I'm also a certified sex educator and have a master's in public health from UC Berkeley. My co-founder, Val Zinchenko, has built over 200
time, Elizabeth.
including swingers.
Apologies.
Then we're done.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
That's my last slide. So
always tough to fit it all in, but amazing job. And now we'll bring our judges to the stage to ask a few questions as well.
So Elizabeth, talk to me about how you want to spend the $750K you're raising.
Sure. Am I still sharing? I can walk you through.
Yes.
So a little less than half of that is marketing, is working with, I'm really focused. A sexting app isn't really paid ads. It's much more sort of being where our customers are, and is working with, we have put together a really awesome sexting workshop, working with grassroots organizations. Another sort of third, a little over a third, is the engineering and the dev team for the things like monetization and security enhancements and brand partnerships. And then a piece of it is, remote teams and HR and insurance and the things that we need.
Amazing. Anyone else? We still have around 2 minutes for questions, so we can really.
Yeah, I was wondering, Elizabeth, thank you for the presentation. If you can describe a little bit more of your kind of core customer segment that you're looking to serve with the launch. So who you were really targeting, and if you could talk to us a little bit more about what the pain point was that you discovered that you are seeking to solve. So, kind of who's the customer, and then what was the core kind of pain point that you wanted to solve with Amorous?
Absolutely. So for me, the core customer is people who are looking to engage with their sexuality and looking for tools to do that. So wanting ways to do that and to do that better. For me, I was the primary customer. Honestly, the story starts from me being in a shelter at home, a shelter in place. I'm in Los Angeles, and trying to find ways to connect to my partner remotely, and being just very annoyed by how few tools there were for that. And then realizing that that annoyance was an opportunity, that there were ways that someone could help me with that sexuality. And so I'm looking at the subsection of people who are already opted in and saying, I am engaged with my sexuality. That's about 55% of adults say very actively, I am exploratory, I'm opted in, I want this. And then specifically people who are coupled. Now, one of the things about Amorous is that it is designed to be, you can be coupled and remote, you can be coupled and together. We are seeing the use case of people who are on for 2 hours every night, and this is what they're doing when they are separate. We're also seeing the use case of sort of more sporadic messaging during the day because they, I suspect, are like a live-in couple. And this is like a fun way to send sexy messages and texts in the daytime. But when it comes to like evening sexy time, well, we're doing that in person together.
Yeah, we're at 20 seconds here. So I think maybe one quick question. If not, I think that can be it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, can you flash the team slide one more time? Would love to quickly see who else is on the team on the right-hand side of that. Perfect, thank you.
Sorry?
And anything you want to share about the rest of the team in the last 10 seconds? No, I guess we're done.
I think
it's just a really great, diverse team. That's what I wanted to represent.
I love it. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you, Elizabeth. And if you are interested in chatting more with the startups, you'll be able to find them in their breakout rooms on Philo during our networking session towards the end. But we're going to move on quickly here. We're going to hear from Paige with Oddpop.
Hey there, I'm Paige Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of Oddpop. We're a global video SaaS marketplace that connects videos to businesses. In 1995, I was sitting in Clinton, Mississippi at the Waffle House, terrified, because I had just found out from my father that my mother was out hunting for me with a shotgun because she just realized that I was gay and it was breaking her Southern Baptist heart. Little did I know that 13 years later, I'd be accepting my 6th Audience Award for Mississippi Queen, a documentary about our relationship and their ex-gay ministry. I went on to create several other feature documentaries that changed policy and raised millions of dollars. And along the way, I was picking up odd and end video jobs to support my film habit. But the problem then is still the problem today. How do creatives get hired and discovered? And how do businesses find creatives and get enough video at scale? We know that the future of sales is video. The cookie is going away. 85% of consumers want to see more video content from customers, and it increases sales 6 times, but there's a gap in the marketplace where businesses have a hard time finding both affordable and high quality custom video. This is a $1 billion total addressable market for Oddpop. So our solution is businesses connect to talent, creators make money, and businesses grow as videos are shared from our platform. And we've had some great traction. We've worked with Fortune 500 companies like GoDaddy and Sony and Southwest and Dell. We have 250,000 registered members and 75,000 registered video creatives. I also just got the opportunity to start in the StartOut Growth Lab Accelerator. Our product is turnkey film challenges and video contests, where at the drop of a hat, you can get 100 stories for your business. But recently, I hit an inflection point, and I thought, we can't just serve Fortune 500 companies. Why not open our platform so that every business can get the video that they need affordably? So now we have a new marketplace where you can use us to hire a video creative. And it's only going to cost $29 a month and a 10% transaction fee. It's going really well, and our projections get us to 119 million ARR by 2028. Our team is diverse, and it is our superpower. The data is clear. Diverse teams make more money. We're raising a $1 million safe with no cap and a 20% discount. We're at about $500,000 trailing 12-month ARR right now. This 1 million will get us to 4.6 in 18 months when we'll close seed. This is Dustin Murphy. 4 weeks ago, when we started our beta and opened our global video marketplace to all businesses, he quickly was hired by these 3 small businesses and earned $16,000 in just 4 weeks. Dustin's using that money to pay his bills, but he's also making a film about climate change. And this is important because our job is to change this world. And data doesn't change the world, stories do. So join us in our creative economy and help us change the world 100 stories at a time. Thank you.
Amazing, right on time. Thank you so much, Paige. And we're going to give a second for our judges to hop back on here. I think we're almost there. Hello again. Perfect. Well, let's get rolling. I think we're just missing Ray. Maybe we can start in with a question or two for Paige. Awesome.
Great, thank you. Is there an archetype of video that seems to work best for either your pre-existing Fortune 500 customer or the newly forming SMB or long tail customer? Is there a type of content that is either easier to produce or is it more produced? Would love to just better understand that content side.
Yeah, thank you, Arjun. I really appreciate that question. It's really important. And it's one of the things that Oddpop provides is a lot of education around what video performs the best and converts the most customers. So what we found is 2 minutes or less. People drop off after 2 minutes online if they're watching it online. And if you're doing social video, 15 seconds. And the types of videos that businesses are using. So with our enterprise brands, we've done a lot of great campaigns like featuring small business stories or travel stories. Right now we're running a campaign for the Weather Channel featuring solutions to climate change. So those films are around the 5 to 8 minute mark, and those actually go on OTT channels and fast TV. But then our small businesses are using us to get product demo videos, how-to videos, tutorial videos, social media videos so far, and a lot of animation and motion graphics actually.
Maybe Denzel or Ray, any questions?
So you're looking at a subscription fee. Who's paying the subscription? Because you've got your vendors and then your clients. So who's paying for what?
So it's a freemium model. Well, let's just talk about the demand side businesses. The freemium model, you can sign up for free, have a brand page on our platform, and be a part of our community. And then if you're a solopreneur, it's just $9 a month to access our creatives and put out a call to action. So it's kind of like 99 designs for video, but it's just $9 a month. If you're a small business, which we kind of define as 100 people or less in your company, then it's $29 a month. And then if you actually hire a video creative through our platform, we charge a 10% transaction fee on top of that. On the supply side, the filmmaker side, it's free, but filmmakers can pay us $14 a month to upgrade their subscription, which is a little bit like Vimeo. You get more storage space, you get in our premium and pro Slack channel, and you get more education and meetups and education about how to be a better video creative.
Amazing. We're at about 30 seconds, so one quick question left.
Just a quick follow-up on the payment. Are you managing payment? Are you managing the escrow there? Are you ensuring the quality meets the standard and then releasing the funds?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I've bootstrapped the company so far. And the reason I'm raising a safe now is to be able to figure out that piece of it's a fintech opportunity, obviously, with the ACH fees. And so right now, I've just been beta testing and this new model. Like used to, we would charge big cost enterprise sales and do it that way. But with this, we have an opportunity to create some fintech.
And that's
and
time.
So that's what we're using the money for. I'm part of it.
Amazing. Right on time. Thank you so much, Paige. Up next, we are going to hear from Sorrel, who is changing the future of healthcare with Jubilee.
Awesome. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sorrel Robertson, and I'm the founder of Jubilee. We're an early stage health tech company with a social mission to improve access, equity, and healthcare outcomes for underserved groups. We're both the patient and provider engagement platform and network that's designed for anyone and everyone, but especially for marginalized groups who have historically had a harder time accessing healthcare services. Finding culturally responsive healthcare providers in mental health and medicine can be such a challenging and daunting process, especially for people of color and the LGBTQ community. For providers, getting advice from other providers and outside referrals for clinicians within and across specialties can often be a really cumbersome task that's limited to one's own professional network. Cultural competency training is often inconsistent and sometimes non-existent for healthcare providers. I know these pain points from my own firsthand experience personally and professionally as a psychologist. We've also confirmed these as significant problems without adequate solutions for users through a rigorous customer discovery process supported by the National Science Foundation, with over 200 people from our target market who have signed on as early adopters and beta users. We also have 3 health clinics that have signed on as early adopters as well. We're currently the only membership and subscription-based platform that trains medical and mental health providers in cultural responsiveness, and then simplifies this process of finding those providers using our unique research-informed algorithm and artificial intelligence. We'll be soft launching our web app next month on the 4th of July. Our mission is to expand access to healthcare for underserved groups. The competitive landscape in this market is pretty fragmented. We fill a gap in the market by providing a one-stop shop, centralized healthcare hub, and a home for all of your culturally responsive healthcare needs. We know that 1 in 5 Americans suffer from a mental illness. 389 million people saw a doctor just last year. When we disaggregate the data by different groups, the stats are staggering for people of color and the LGBTQ community. Our revenue streams will include membership fees for users and providers and cultural competency training module fees for health systems and providers. The global patient engagement market size was valued at $15.1 billion in 2020 and is projected to grow at 21% over the next 7 years. We're currently raising $500,000 in pre-seed funding for a 12-month runway. Our exit strategies include either an IPO or acquisition from a health system
30 seconds.
Company. I have a strong team working with me with expertise and years of experience in tech, sales, marketing, and healthcare. We received 63 applications for 2 open positions with us just over the past 4 months. Over the past 6 months, we've been supported by Blackstone Techstars, Berkeley Skydeck, and Pharrell Williams Black Ambition Prize. Join us as we revolutionize the healthcare experience.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sorrel. And we're going to go through the motions once again, have our wonderful judges join on our virtual stage to ask some questions. Got Ali and Ari and Arjun.
A quick question, when you guys think about addressing the healthcare space, I've seen a lot of businesses in the space recently, telemedicine, the trends that COVID sort of set off, delivering healthcare, using mobile and cloud compute platforms. Mental health and medicine are 2 very large segments. I'm wondering, if you were going to wedge in, if you were going to start somewhere, where would you start? Because attacking both strikes me as ambitious, kudos, but hard for a small team. So curious, about how you think about where to start.
Sure. Yeah, so that's one of our differentiating factors, is that we will be including both, medical providers and mental health providers on the platform. So I have a little bit of a competitive advantage in that I graduated from Xavier University, which produces the #1 producer of physicians of color in the country. So I really do plan on leaning into my built-in network to really, as we're bootstrapping, to get us off the ground on the medical side of things. And then, of course, we'll be starting out from state by state, starting with California as we're rolling out. And I'm pretty well connected with the mental health landscape here in California. So I'm pretty confident in our ability to really be able to tackle both sides.
So the wedge is then the access to, or providing access to the provider who the audience really wants. Okay, great, thanks.
Yes.
How are you thinking about the competitive landscape of new startups that are specifically addressing this underserved communities like LGBTQ and BIPOC communities?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a couple competitors who are specifically working on similar products. However, they tend to focus specifically again on either one particular demographic, right? So either they really are targeting Black folks or Latinx folks, right? So we really want to be a one-stop shop, right? So if I'm a Latinx woman in San Francisco who's looking for a primary care physician and a pediatrician and a dermatologist and a therapist, this is the one place where she can go, opposed to having multiple accounts with our competitors.
Amazing. I think we're at about time for questions. Thank you so much to the judges. Thank you so much to Sorel. Again, a reminder, you can find him in his breakout room later for all of the questions if you're in the audience. And without further ado, we are going to hear from Cal or from Samir and what he's building at Cal around the future of how we share about our food. So I will bring Samir up to the stage.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, you're looking good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samir Tendulkar, and I'm the founder and CEO of Cal.com. Don't let this apron and hat fool you. I'm not a professional chef. I'm a software developer who loves to cook. So one day when I was coming home, I saw my friend who's a professional chef, and he was applying for a chef position. And he had his resume in a PDF, and he had 35 attachments of all the beautiful food that he had cooked. I looked at him and I said, dude, what are you doing? This is so 1990s. Who sends an email with 35 attachments? He looked at me and he laughed, and he said, oh, this is how we chefs show our cooking profile. So I went to a cooking school and I asked the students over there, how do they show their cooking profile? Many of them did the exact same thing. However, most of them had Facebook or Instagram profiles where they show their cooking skills. The problem with showing your cooking skills on Facebook or Instagram is it has pictures of you drinking with your buddies. It has pictures of him or her on the beach. It has pictures of you with your pets. This is an exaggeration. But there was a girl who came up to me and said, I wish there was a place where I could, which was dedicated to showing my cooking skills. And that is why we built Cal.com. Cal is a place where you can have a dedicated cooking bio and you can show all your recipes. So then we added a lot of social features in there, like cooking badges, reputations, likes, comments, followers. And then something amazing happened, something that we never expected. Cal was growing exponentially really fast. In just 6 months, we have more than 94,000 users from all over the world showing their cooking skills on Cal.com. Just 3 months back, we entered the Alexa top 1 million sites, and in just 3 months, we have climbed to 177,000 in traffic ranking. So Cal is growing exceptionally fast. Earlier last year, we were featured as the 100 best social media startups of 2020. Earlier this year, we were featured as 25 awesome cooking-oriented startups to keep an eye on. Cal came at number 5. The team has me. I had another startup which I grew to $16 million in sales. We have the editor of Inc. magazine. We have the dean of the best cooking school in New York City. We have the CFO of McCann, the marketing director of Bloomberg and Forbes, another lead developer, plus my awesome brother Nikhil, who helped me grow the users so fast. Competition. As of right now, there is no place on the internet where you can have a dedicated cooking profile. There are a lot of recipe sites out there. However, I can't show my, I can only like, comment, and share on the recipe sites. And it's really awkward to give someone your Facebook or Instagram profile. So we want to make Cal, we are raising $1 million, and we want to make Cal exceptionally big. We want to make Cal a multi-billion-dollar company. So who wants to join us and taste the sweet taste of success? Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Samir. And now we are going to hear again from my judges. And that's my timer going off. We'll let the judges start asking questions as everyone files in. So go for it, folks.
Great. Thanks so much for the presentation. Exciting as a foodie. I appreciate it. Curious about the monetization model. Obviously, you've got a lot of users on the platform. How are you thinking through monetizing, and which side of the ecosystem might you monetize over time?
So Cal is a social media, and just like any other social media, Cal will take, we currently have 94,000 users on our platform. We plan to make it to 1 million users in the next 12 months. And then, in the next 2 or 3 years, we plan to monetize by advertisements and cooking companies having a paid organization page. So that is a monetization strategy.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get faster on the button next time because that was my question, but you answered, so thank you.
Yeah. Also, we plan to have like exceptionally. I can give you a lot more details about monetization if you guys are interested.
Samir, talk to me about any upcoming features and what you see going viral on your app right now.
So currently, we have spent $0 on marketing. All the users that you see, they have come in organically. We have people spend more than five. The regular users spend more than a new user spends approximately 5 minutes on the site, and repeat users spend more than 7 minutes on the site. So we have organic growth. We have organic engagements. If you go on cal.com, you'll be so surprised like how much people love our platform. You'll see there are people who have I have seen even 400 recipes on the site, and we have not even completed 1 full year. So yeah.
We have a little
Samir, just quickly, what at the early stages, of building, what are the maybe pick two of the sort of core engagement metrics that you care most about and that you are building your product to drive?
I didn't understand the question. What does that mean?
Core engagement products. So, you had mentioned time spent on site, or if people are sharing, images, or how you, when you look at your product, there's virality, there's engagement. What are the two metrics that you focus on the most?
You'll have to be quick because you have 15 seconds, Samir.
We just want people. The core metrics is more people joining and making cooking profiles and sharing them. People love to brag about their cooking profiles, and they get the users for us. So I want to make it more engaging and more fun for people to watch.
Thank you so much, Samir, and thank you again to our judges. And we are going to steam right along to our next startup. We're going to hear from Clean Wraps and Russell and what they're building.
Hey guys, my name is Russell. This is Clean Wraps. Clean Wraps is a consumer personal protective equipment company that is designing, manufacturing, and marketing an ever-growing suite of consumer personal protective equipment to meet the ever-changing needs of our time. Consumer PPE are tools that people need and use to go about daily life in a safe and hygienic manner. My mother and I started this company in 2014, and we're both germaphobes. She has experience in sales, and I have experience in law and advising startups in their early stages. Our hypothesis is simple. Just as past pandemics had led to widespread adoption of PPE use in Asia, think about the use of masks on planes or in automobiles or subways abroad. COVID-19 is the first global pandemic in modern history and is similarly accelerating the adoption of PPE use worldwide. The problem is really that touching things kind of sucks and there aren't sophisticated tools to help. Until now. Our antimicrobial grip barriers are protected by 3 patents, and they have a couple of key components. They're made with scuba grade neoprene, which means that they can be used and reused, washed time and time again. They have grippy silicone dots that provide security from slipping, which is really important when you're holding weight or if you're someone who's old and needs stability when walking. And they're imbued with antimicrobial agents, which means they reduce the strength of the germs that they come into contact with. As stated, our first use case was at the gym, but in speaking with our customers, we learned that there are a lot of other spaces where they feel they need more protection. Most of these use cases center around commuting, whether that's on a public transportation, subway, on a bike, or pumping gas at the gas pump while we still have those sorts of cars. Our product margin at this point is around 64%, but we can grow this to closer to 75% with increased production. We're not only creating an entirely new category within the space, but we're also capturing a share of the large and growing PPE market, which is exemplified by our successful mass launch in an extremely crowded market. We're selling to consumers, we're selling to businesses, and we're planning to license our owned IP to third parties to further accelerate our access to mass retail.
About 30 seconds.
Over 13 months from April to April, we've done over $140,000 in gross revenue, and we've decreased our customer acquisition costs by 73% since launch. We plan to continue decreasing these costs by accessing wholesale in a more significant manner. We also plan to license our product to other individuals so that they could use our own patent and trademark and sell with their name or within their industry. We're looking to raise $1.25 million, and most of this money is to fund production and to make new hires. It's just been my mom and I so far.
That's time. Thank you so much, Russell. Sorry to cut you off.
That's good.
We'll go to questions with our judges.
Do you know how you were able to decrease your CAC?
Yes, we did some detailed studies about decreasing our customer acquisition costs, and the majority of it was presence in higher profile media. So we had a couple of placements in the Wall Street Journal and in Business Insider. It's hard to educate people about a product that is an entirely new item. It's not as if we're selling a new toothbrush. We have to educate someone on what a toothbrush is. So any sort of explanatory piece that provides that education is extremely important.
From an end user perspective, do you imagine that this is something that end users themselves buy, or is this a B2B type of sale, or both over time? Where do you see it?
That's a great question. We wanted to use the D2C model as a proof of concept. We knew that people were looking for extra protection over the past 12 months, but we've had outside interest from business buyers and have seen faster sales turnover when we have placement in gyms, for example. So we're doing a trial with Blink Fitness, which is in the same vertical as SoulCycle and Equinox, and our turnover rate there is pretty high. And what that relates to is the fact that these people are already in settings working with people that they trust. And so again, it's that education piece.
Got about a minute left.
You had a sampling of products. What is that? Slide 7, maybe? Are those already in production, or are these?
They're already here, and we're actually further developing them. So I've had calls with over 20 customers, and we found that what people really want is to have the ability to do this. So if someone's working with supersets and they're moving from piece of equipment to piece of equipment, or grabbing one rail on the subway and then want to grab another rail on the subway, they wanted it to stay on their hand. The key difference between this and a glove is that you're not going to touch your face with this, and you're not going to touch any of your personal items with this. The idea is you're having something that's dirty and then you're done and can wash this when you get home.
About 30 seconds.
Any sense on valuation? Do you have a read right now on the 1.25 that you're looking to raise?
I'm not totally sure on our valuation at the moment. To give you more background, our first goal was to hit $150,000 in 3 months annual run rate, and we did that at the end of 2020. I really think I need to see how the business-to-business sales scale for us to understand the true value of our company, because that's something that we haven't focused on in terms of hiring business sales folk for that sort of business development. It's all been outbound interest to us.
Thanks so much, Russell. That's time. Awesome presentation. Thank you to our judges. And now we're getting towards the tail end of our startup presentations. We have a few more awesome founders showing us what they're working on. I just want to give a quick reminder, though, to the audience that you do have the audience choice form to fill out at the bottom of the Philo screen if you scroll. Please hang on until the presentations are over to fill that out so we can get some accurate reads on the votes. With that said, I'm excited to welcome to the stage Rose to explain to us what she's building with Complied.
All right, is everybody seeing the slide? Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Rose Elliott, the CEO and co-founder of Complied. We are a company founded by 3 seasoned engineering, product, and business veterans who have delivered large-scale platforms and compliance initiatives at companies such as PayPal, Apple, and eBay. Together with an exceptional team of advisors, we are uniquely positioned to solve the huge problem of cannabis compliance. Non-compliance is no joke. Businesses risk heavy fines, loss of license, and criminal charges. And cannabis regulations are the wild, wild west, extremely complicated and difficult to navigate. Businesses are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in many months, if not years, to enter new markets. Complied's platform simplifies and enhances compliance, allowing for rapid expansion. Imagine days rather than months. You can think of us as a Stripe for compliance. We provide the building blocks for businesses to deliver value better, faster, and cheaper, all while maintaining compliance. The cannabis industry is expected to explode. It is expected to reach a $97.5 billion value globally. Legalization is accelerating and compliance is becoming more and more onerous, making it extremely difficult to enter new markets. Complied aids entry and expansion by simplifying compliance. Complied spans both the global regulatory technology industry and the cannabis industries, both nascent industries that are literally exploding. There are currently no direct competitors delivering exactly what we're building that is addressing compliance holistically and horizontally. However, there are businesses that are addressing segments of the compliance puzzle and could pivot. We view these businesses as potential customers and or strategic partners. We have a tiered subscription offering and pricing strategy that will enable low-cost entry points as well as opportunities to upsell as our customers' businesses grow. And we are initially targeting multi-state operators as they're building their own solutions because, and I quote, "We have simply outgrown the technical maturity level of the currently available systems, and we prefer not to build in compliance if we do not have to."
A little under 30 seconds.
Okay. We are currently in development targeting Q3 for our MVP for our beta launch. We will roll out in California, Washington, and Illinois, integrated with all three major track and trace systems. We are currently raising around to expedite execution, to reach very aggressive milestones, including revenue generation, and we welcome any introductions. Come join us and help us make cannabis compliance super easy. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rose. And now to field a few questions from our judges.
Well, so Rose, how are you using AI in your system right now? Or is that how you plan to use AI in the future?
That is in the future. We plan, the MVP is pre-data science AI, but we will be using natural language processing for identifying highly actionable insights because we'll be building a dynamic rules engine. Additionally, we'll be using machine learning for detecting anomalous behavior. Initially for fraud detection, we'll be looking for diversion, that sort of thing. But that is post-MVP. Question?
This is kind of a sort of technical question. Are the track and trace, are you guys using blockchain and distributed ledger to integrate with the track and trace systems?
Not to integrate with them. So track and trace systems, these are public APIs that they expose, and these are tracking seed to sale. We are post MVP. Currently, we are integrating with, we're providing a common data model, common API endpoint, et cetera, so we can easily expand. But post MVP, we will be moving into a completely event source architecture, utilizing an immutable data store. We are looking at both blockchain, but also at not public distributed ledger, but centralized ledger, like similar to QLDB for AWS. So we have not gone through the full-on architectural design of that yet, but that is post MVP, and we are that, and every event will be tracked through that.
Got it. Thank you.
Minute and a half.
Is your customer set limited to basically cannabis companies?
So initially, yes, cannabis businesses and cannabis technology companies. These are the companies that are busy building CRMs, inventory systems, et cetera, but many of the businesses are building their own as well. But we're also looking at, I say fintech, I mean specifically cannabis initially, and then of course going into regulatory agencies and globally. But we do, I typically end the pitch when I have a longer time, just cannabis is just the beginning. This platform is being built out so that we can relatively easily move to adjacent verticals such as pharma, food and agri, et cetera, health, and even fintech outside of cannabis.
30 seconds.
Any quick sense on the sales cycle here for particularly the larger customers that you mentioned? Do you know roughly how long it'll take to close them?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. So initially we're going in on the
yeah.
cannabis and then the multi-state operators, and we're looking at to close them probably in the 6-month range, less than and I say like a PayPal or a Square or something like that later on as the Safe Banking Act and or actual federal legalization, when they're all dipping their toes and when we want to go towards them, of course their cycles are a bit longer.
Amazing. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you so much, Rose. And again, you can find all the founders in their breakout rooms after these presentations. And without further ado, we are in the home stretch here. We're going to hear from Corey at Legal Karma. Take it away, Corey.
Hi, folks. One sec. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Should say Legal Karma Inc. StartOut Demo.
Yes, indeed. You got it.
Cool. Okay. Hi, everybody. Corey Kelly, founder and CEO at Legal Karma. We've got a lot to cover in the next 3 minutes. I thought I'd start out by showing you guys a statistic that struck me the first time that I read it. And that's 80% of US citizens can't get access to legal services. We're not talking about insurance. We're not talking about personal injury. We're talking about family law. We're talking about our kids. We're talking about criminal law. We're talking about immigration. We're talking about our liberty here. And if you're like me, you're wondering, how the heck did we get there? And this is how. It turns out the legal industry is a hot mess. The billable hour incentivizes inefficiency in legal practices. Law firms are spending 40% of their time per week on completely automatable tasks, and the financial needs of the client are misaligned with the financial goals of the law firms. If we're a nation of laws, but we can't afford access to those laws, what the heck does that create? Nothing that I want to be part of. Enter Legal Karma. We sit on top of law firms and enable them to productize and scale like tech companies. We want to help law firms be more like LegalZoom and Hello to Force and other tech giants that are productizing legal services by aligning the financial needs of and goals of the clients to the law firms. Let me show you exactly how we're doing that. So if you can see my mouse here, down here, where traditional law firms, custom billing, the billable hour, low technology, this is where they are today. So some of them have tried this subscription model, but without technology, they hit that rub really quickly with the goals not being aligned. So they were not able to scale, and they had to go back to custom billing, but billable hour. But we know that this works because if you're looking at LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer, these other companies have productized legal services, but law firms have never been there because they've never had the tech to take them there. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring up traditional law firms up into this area of high tech so they can productize their services. There are 415,000 law firms in the United States. So that's what we do. And it's going really well. We just had our MVP go live this month, and we kicked that off with a partnership with the State Bar of Texas. We've got a partnership with the Chicago Bar happening next month. We still have 60 law firms in queue to get their services turned on that we're trying to chew through. And in fall, we're going to get access to Denton's Law's network of attorneys that are looking for innovative technology. They have about law firms. And by the end of the year, we hope to be at 100 firms. That's what we are. What we're not is a dev shop, and we never will be. We do not do custom developments. We're also fully LGBTQ owned and operated. We joke on the team that we have a really, we have a big straight minority problem. I'm out of time. Here are our accomplishments if you want to read them. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks, Corey. And the 3 minutes run down quick. We'll get some questions in from the judges, though. Hopefully that'll help you cover the rest of what you'd like to talk about. So I'll let the judges take it away as well.
Would love to better understand the product structure. Kind of how does it exactly work when you start with a law firm and integrate with them? What does that process look like, and how do they use the product? Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really an area of practice question. So if they're a transactional law firm, that's going to look like productizing their documents. We do that with our no-code document automation tool called Intake Genie. And if it's more of a litigation-centric firm, then it's really all about the client interaction, because at that point, these cases have a life cycle of anywhere from 3 months to a year and a half. So we have different tools. We have a matter tracker that keeps the clients informed. We have tasks that law firms can template and assign to clients. I could go deeper into it, but I'll pause there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys ask great questions.
What traction point has you most excited?
Sorry, I heard Denzel and Ari. Sorry, what was your question?
Ari got the full thing.
Right.
Go ahead, Ari.
Sorry. Which piece of traction are you most excited about right now? What's getting you up really excited in the morning?
Ooh, The piece of traction that's most exciting to me is our partnerships right now with the state bar associations. There are a lot of entities, a lot of these state bar associations around the country are launching these legal incubators, and they're for law firms to provide more accessible services. There's a lot of money being spent on that by these bar associations, and they're looking at Legal Karma as a real tool that mitigates that, because we're the first piece of software that really enables those firms to scale, because they can try to go to the subscription model all day long, but there's no tool on the market yet that from the client's perspective, and that's really what LegalZoom and Hello Divorce and all these other productized services do. They do it from the client's perspective. There's nothing like that in the legal industry yet. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited that these bar associations are looking at us and saying, yes, this is what we need.
Just under a minute.
Denzel, you had a question?
I was going to ask about the partnerships, but I think you answered the question in that question, or in that answer. As you are looking at, one moment here, because I totally just lost the question.
My face was really red during the presentation.
It's okay. As you're looking at sort of that 60 in the pipeline, what is that staffing that's keeping you from processing those? Like what's keeping you from having those 60 come through?
I know we're almost out of time. The easy answer is we can't fuck it up. With legal tech, it is such a slow burn getting them, and it's just like the snowball goes up really slowly, it also unravels in the same way. If we onboard them and I can't provide customer service to them appropriately, or it's a new app, we have to, we spent a lot of time in QA. But even so, if something doesn't deliver today, I can't have anybody going into one of these Facebook groups or all these like rogue ways that these people word of mouth, evangelize our product and say something bad. So the easy answers to that, the answer is, I want to put more people through it so we're better prepared. And then also, a staffing issue. I mean, we're going to need customer service, and I can't bring people on without having that ready.
Time. Thank you so much, Corey. Thank you to our judges. And now to take us home on a high note, I am sure we will hear from Jessica and the awesome tech that she's building at Wave Therapeutics. Go for it, Jessica.
Wonderful. Hi, folks. I'm Jessica Bussard. I'm a lifelong technologist, an emergency room nurse, and the founder of Wave Therapeutics. Each year, 60,000 Americans die from bed sores. They impact the lives of 3 million more and cost the US economy $11 billion annually. Regulators say that bed sores are caused by neglect, and care facilities need to pay for treatment at an average cost of $44,000 per incident. These wounds are also the second leading reason facilities get sued for malpractice. Our therapeutic wheelchair cushion combines multiple clinically proven therapies with our powerful analytics platform, making Wave the most effective bed sore prevention solution available. After launch, we'll expand our offerings to include full mattress toppers and items for the surgical suite. Next, we'll offer products for the automotive, airline, and consumer markets. Competitive products fall into two categories. First are the simple static pads made of foam, gel, or air. The current leader, Roho, makes this type of device. At the higher end are expensive automated cushions that act like a teeter-totter under the user. Aquila is the current leader in this space with their $4,000 AirPulse cushion. Wave's cushion is much more effective than anything on the market, and our affordable price allows healthcare facilities to achieve a quick ROI and literally save billions in liabilities and treatment costs. Before healthcare, my first career was in global information technology, where I led European business consulting efforts for one of the largest tech companies in the world. For Wave, I've assembled the team of experienced and capable business leaders required to ensure our long-term success. Wave is owned by a transgender woman, and our board and C-suite is made up of women, first-generation immigrants, and members of the LGBT community. We've created 8 generations of prototypes, built out our manufacturing processes, signed a major contract with the Veterans Health Administration, and shipped our first devices to their researchers and reviewers. Our SOM of 38 million comes from the VHA. Our SAM of 500 million comes from all US long-term care facilities. Finally, our domestic TAM of 2.5 billion comes from all wheelchair users in the US. Wave is currently raising a $2 million seed round that will allow us to accelerate our MVP route to market, invest in the R&D needed for our follow-on products, and pay for critical operating expenses. By initially focusing on the VHA, Wave expects to profitably sell 10,000 units within our first year. Thank you for your interest in Wave Therapeutics, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Perfect timing. Thank you so much, Jessica. And now, final round with our judges. Let's go for some questions.
Not a question. You did great. Perfectly on time. That was awesome.
Thank you. I've practiced a few times.
Aside from your distribution channel with the VHA, what other distribution channels are partners that you're looking at?
So to keep our sales and marketing teams lean and tight and focused, Wave is going to do direct sales only to the largest of the healthcare conglomerates. And we're going to leave the smaller organization, the smaller and mid-sized firms to organizations like Direct Supply and the GPOs like Vizient and such.
At scale, how do you think about gross margin reduction, given kind of where things are at today? Obviously more expensive, but over time, 10,000, 100,000 units, where might gross margins end up?
So part of the fundraise part of our use of funds is for the automation equipment that will help us ramp up our production speeds and significantly drop our COGS down. We're also going to eventually look at second source suppliers that'll help us provide price pressure to our existing suppliers, which are all domestic at this point in time.
About a minute and a half.
Sure. Now, I want to just point out that bed sores represent a huge cost for long-term care. So every year in nursing homes, 5% of their patients develop a bed sore of some type. And no, I'm sorry, a significant bed sore. And the treatment cost for those averages 44 grand. It's also the second leading reason why they get sued. And they lose those cases all the time. It's a huge cost center for them, and we're uniquely positioned to be able to address that for them.
Time for one more question.
I guess it's not really a question. I'm not as familiar with this segment, but I think, you know, in terms of sort of looking at the market, I understand that it is a need, right? And you are highlighting something that is serious. And I think as we're thinking about aging populations and what we're moving towards, I think this is something, you know, that is a really reasonable venture to go into, and starting out with the VA is sort of a space to sort of beta that I think is great. So not really a question, just more of an acknowledgement of this is interesting. So yeah.
Thank you, Denzel. Hey, and just one more comment about the VA. They are our nation's largest healthcare provider. So we actually have a contract signed and are in a strong relationship with the biggest of those low-hanging fruit. So, yeah.
Perfect. Lots to look forward to with Wave Therapeutics, and a huge thank you to Jessica. Huge thank you to our judges, all of our startup founders, and certainly to our audience. Now is the time for our judges to go and find their own breakout room where they'll be voting on who our top 3 winners are, who will be taking home cash prizes as well as a number of other prizes brought to us by our sponsors. We will go ahead and cut straight to the chase and announce our winners. First, I'm going to start with the audience vote and who won the Popular Choice Award. First, we have, well, I'll go in an ascending order from third to first, so we got some anticipation in here. Third prize from the audience was Complied. So huge congrats to Complied. Next, second prize, we have Legal Karma. And finally, our winner of the audience award is Wave Therapeutics. So huge congrats to Jessica for our audience choice award. Clearly all of our pitches were wonderful, and you all really made a standout performance. So now, without further ado, we are going to get around to announcing our winners as selected by our judges. And before we go through all of the winners, and I'll do my best to kind of get everyone in order, I do want to highlight and say thank you to our sponsors once again and give an idea of what these prizes are. So for our third, second, and first prize winners, we have the kind of a main prize of $2,000 for the third place winner, $3,000 for second place winner, and $5,000 for the first place winner. And those are made possible by all of our sponsors. So huge thank you to everyone participating as a sponsor. Then the first place winner will also get an introduction to a partner VC via Silicon Valley Bank. Thank you to SVB. All three winners will get $5,000 in Twilio credit and $10,000 in SendGrid credit from Twilio. And all three winners will also get a feature story of the winners on the AWS blog, as you can imagine, by AWS. So again, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors, and that is what the founders have to look forward to. And now, without further ado, I am overjoyed to announce that in third place, we have, as selected by our judges, Clean Wraps. So huge congrats to Russell. Then second place, we have Legal Karma. Huge congrats to Corey Kelly for that one. And finally, our first place prize and the winner of our StartOut 2021 demo day is Complied. So a huge round of applause for Rose at Complied. Totally killed it. And again, thank you to every single founder for participating. Thank you to our judges for joining. And thank you to our wonderful audience for making this all possible as well. We will now move on to the last portion of this event, which is right on the dot here, starting at 5:30. We can go into general networking. You're welcome to jump back into the breakout rooms and chat with the founders and understand more about what they're building. If you're an investor, we have an investor breakout room that you'll specifically be able to access. If you are a startup founder, you'll be able to access a special startup founder room. And we'll also have a general networking room for Pride. So lots to look forward to if you want to stick around in Philo and hang out with us. I would love to say a huge, huge thank you to, again, our judges, our startups, our sponsors, our audience, and also to our wonderful StartOut team. Is obviously more than just me behind all of this. So a huge shout out to everyone at StartOut who volunteered to make this possible. And I think that is time. We appreciate everyone joining. Again, I'm Mark, and I believe we'll be signing out here. Thank you so much. You can always find out more about StartOut at startout.org. And, this is a wonderful time. Happy Pride, everybody.